Hey gamers, what's up? Welcome back to Gamer Life. And today I'm counting down my top 50 games of all time, and today I present to you number 10 to number 1. My favorite games of all time. And because of this, I decided to get dressed up for everybody so I can present to you what I think is some monumental games of all time. So, these next 10 games were all undefeated. When I did my pairings, the 3-round pairings of 80 games, these 10 games came out on top undefeated. And I have to admit, some of them are quite a surprise to me. But it is what it is, so let's get started up. My number 10 is a little 2-player game called Jackport. Jackport is a trading game for 2 players. Now it sounds weird, but it works. Because it's how you trade. There's a center row in which you're taking either one card or you're taking all the cards, but then you have to refill that trade row with either cards from your hand or from the camels you have in front of you. And you want to trade in more cards, because the more cards you trade in, the more points you get. But at the same time, your opponent is trying to do the same thing. So it's a good balancing act of trying to get the fast points or trying to get the big points. It's an excellent game. My number 10, Jackport. My number 9 is a co-op game called Shadows over Camelot. Shadows over Camelot is a 3 to 6 player game. Oh, I'm sorry, I think you can go up to 8 players with the expansions. That all players are trying to defend Camelot from all the invading forces, from the invasion from the sea, from the Nordics, trying to get do the quest for the Lancelot's armor or for the sword. There's a bunch of stuff going on there. But what makes this game truly unique is the hidden trader aspect. Because which is the only way I play it, which one player is the trader, but you don't know who it is. So you're trying to work together, but that one player is working against all the other players. It's a truly excellent game. It's a little long for what it is, but I really do enjoy it. That's my number 9, Shadows over Camelot. My number 8 game is another co-op game called Defenders of the Realm. Defenders of the Realm is pretty much a fantasy version of Pandemic. It plays much like Pandemic, in which there are 4 different types of monsters, groups that are going around the board and messing and causing havoc, and you have to stop these 4 groups. But there's so much stuff going on. There's so much bad happening that you really can't stop it all. So you have to let some stuff go, and everybody has to work together in order to defeat the threats that are coming in. It is a little longer than Pandemic, but I truly enjoy this game. So that's my number 8, Defenders of the Realm. My number 7 is another fantasy game called Descent. Now this is my first edition box, but I'm talking about Descent 2nd edition. I've put everything into my first edition box because that's how much I like it. This is one of the first games I ever got, because I played so much Dungeons and Dragons throughout the years that this game has really filled the niche for me for my fantasy dungeon crawling. Now this game, even though the 2nd edition is an improvement over the 1st edition, this game is still a little long. It's still a little heavy for some players, but I truly do enjoy it. And I know some people don't like being the Overlord. There are modes out there which somebody else, where the Overlord is automated by the game, and they even have official variants too, which they use cards to substitute for the Overlord. But it's still an excellent game, and I truly do enjoy it. That's my number. Where is it? My number 7, Descent. Now my number 6 is the newest game on this list, and eventually it probably will replace Descent, and that is Imperial Assault. Imperial Assault is Descent almost 2.5 in a sense, because it takes the Descent 2nd edition and it tweaks it a little bit. The biggest change is in Descent, all the characters act and then the Overlord acts. In this, Overlord acts after every character has acted. So there's a lot of stuff going on. The biggest problem I have with Imperial Assault is I find the Imperial player to be slightly overpowered, but that's not here nor over there. I still enjoy this game. I'm actually currently painting my copy, So that tells you how much I enjoy Imperial Assault. And the 2-player mode that also comes with it is very nice too. So that's my number 6, Imperial Assault. My number 5 is another 2nd edition game called Battlelore 2nd Edition. Now this truly strays away from Battlelore 1st Edition, which was more of maybe a historic war game, because you had the French versus the English and they splashed in some fantasy stuff. This is all fantasy. This is all golems and flying up eagles, and it's excellent. You can, what makes this thing also great is you can build your own forces, and if you want, you can put 2 copies together to build even more forces. And as of recording this video, they're coming out with new units for the current factions. And I love the way how you can set up the board too, because you pick from different scenarios. So there are so many multiple ways, because your opponent might pick a different scenario that you're picking, and then it might work for you, and then it might work against you. And then the magic cards you each have are so different because they work so well for each of the separate races. So that's why I truly enjoy this game, Battlelore 2nd Edition. My number 4 game is a little card game called YoMe. YoMe is a 2-player fighting game similar to Battlelore. I mean, not Battlelore. I'm sorry. BattleCon. But what makes this different is each deck is a 52 deck of cards with 2 jokers. That's it. Every deck is the same. 52 cards plus a joker. But what makes it unique is that each deck plays so differently. Like Rock plays so different than Argagard. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it the right way. But and you truly know each deck in order to make it work just right. And how you have your power-ups, like your power-ups in fighting games, which are your aces in this game. You can dig for them and try and get them back. Or if you do a good combo, you can get them from your deck or your discard. I truly enjoy this game. I know 2nd edition is supposed to come out soon, and I'm really looking forward to it. That's my number 4, YoMe. My number 3 is my highest worker placement game, and I don't really like worker placement games, but this one is excellent. That is Age of Empires 3, which I think is currently being called Age of Discovery. And as of recording, their Kickstarter, I think, just finished. So it combines the base game plus the expansion, which I just picked up actually separately before the Kickstarter campaign happened. So whatever, but I still have my copy, and it's an excellent worker placement game. There's a lot of plastic in this box. What I truly like is how the fact that you have multiple workers, but each worker is unique, in which you have the soldier that's good as one thing, while the little priest guy, when he goes to the new world, he becomes 2 people because he converts people. You have the merchant, or as we like to call him, the Burger King. When he goes to the new world, he instantly just cashes in for $5, and some other small little things like that. But it's so unique in how each worker can be used for multiple things, and that's what I really like. That's my number 3, Age of Empires. My number 2 is probably my favorite co-op game also. That is Eldritch Horror. Eldritch Horror has replaced Arkham Horror to me because it is so much better. It's quicker, it's lighter, it's faster. It still has the same heavy Cthulhu feel, which I enjoy. Even though I'm not a big horror guy, it works for this game. All the cards are very thematic. The game just works for me. I really like how you're immersed into this story of dread, and how the game really portrays it. And it has some very good, interesting gameplay elements too, in which you're trying to get those clue tokens, which are worth their weight in gold, and some other stuff going on inside here. But that's my number 2, Eldritch Horror. And last but not least, my favorite game of all time, that is this monstrosity, Twilight Imperium. Twilight Imperium is my favorite game of all time because it does what I want a game to do, and that's be awesome. This game does everything. You have space combat, you have political, you have trade, you have a deep tech tree, and with the 2 expansions, you can make your tech tree even more unique and cater more towards your unique race. There's tons of miniatures, tons of plastic inside here. You have the War Sound that looks like a Death Star. You have the Dreadnoughts, which look like Star Destroyers. You have the Cruisers, which look like Battlestar Galactica. There's so much stuff here. This box is really heavy because I put everything inside. There's so much stuff, so much going on. Yes, the game does take 8 hours, but I do not care. It is an amazing game. Twilight Imperium, to me, is more than just a game. It is an experience that I truly want everyone to try. I know 8 hours is a hard pill to swallow, but trust me, it's worth spending one day playing this game, Twilight Imperium. So, that wraps up my top 50 games of all times. Thanks for sticking around and watching all that, and be sure to check back for some other great reviews. Thank you and have a nice day.